Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kesgrave Panthers Podcast. Today we have 2019 Northern Champion and 2019 Senior World Semi-Finalist Nathan Everett with us. How are you feeling today, Nathan?
Yeah, fine, mate. Yeah, yourself?
Yeah, decent, thank you.
Good.
So, as normal, we'll start off. How did you get into Cycle Speedway?
Well, I started, it was a summer scorcher event, like school's out event. So yeah, my mum suggested we go down and give it a try and went from there, really.
So where was this that you first started?
It was at Hull, down at Hessel.
So, would you say that Hull is like your favourite track, or is there any other places that you particularly like?
Yeah, I do like Hull. It's got that far bend, which you can sort of cut back on and pass, which is great. But any other track which is my favourite would be Sheffield Cuxton. I find that quite a fast and a great track, really.
So are there any tracks you dislike then?
Wait, before you answer this question, I have a point. I've seen this and I'm not very happy with this choice.
I didn't think you would be, yeah. It's you're tracking at Kesgrave. I rode it in a British qualifier, and I just found you're starting on an angle, aren't you? I just don't like it at all. I had a bad day, so I'd say the next one would be Horsepath. I don't like that either.
Yeah. So yeah, Kesgrave is you have to get used to it, I suppose, because there's not many tracks like that around the country, I suppose. But would you say you prefer the bigger tracks? Saying, as you've said, you've disliked Kesgrave and Horsepath, which are quite small tracks.
Yeah, I liked Newport. That was quite a good track. I don't mind Hetland Lake. The bigger tracks sort of suit me, better.
So which track did you ride in your semi or in the Worlds 2 years ago now?
For the semi, I think it was Lesnar, which was very similar. It reminded me of my home track, Hull. Both bends are quite pointed, and you can cut back and pass on them. And yeah, I had a really good day there. I think I was a bit lucky, really, but it was a great track. I love that one.
Would you say that the tracks over in Poland are any different to the tracks in the UK?
Yeah, I found them quite sandy and quite heavy. It took the first day I was there, I had a real surprise. I got 6 points from my 5 rides, and it really didn't agree with me. But yeah, they're quite heavy to ride and quite tough. They do take a bit of getting used to.
Are there any other things riding in Poland that took you a while to get used to?
Not really, no. You get more crowds there, I noticed. A bit more backing, but no, nothing. The starting's a little bit different, but nothing serious, really.
I don't believe that you've been to Australia yet, have you?
No, I haven't. No. It's getting the funds together to go. As much as I would like to, I'd be quite happy just going to Poland again because it's nice and cheap, and yeah, I enjoy Poland.
Oh, is Charlie frozen?
Oh.
All right.
Wait, was that me that froze?
I think so.
Oh, okay. So do you have a most memorable moment riding?
Memorable moment? It'd probably be the Worlds in 2019. It was the first time I'd had a go at it. And getting to the semi, I think it was sort of my last race. I got a gate exclusion, but if I'd have finished third in that one, I'd have been in the final. So that was memorable wise. That was probably the best sort of time in my cycle speedway career. Achievement wise, probably have to say the Northern individual title. Getting my name on that was great, really.
So, I believe you made your England senior debut this year. Am I right?
I did. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, but I forgot about that one. That was good day, to be honest. That day was more of a blur than anything. three rides, and it didn't feel like three rides. I think I was just that nervous on the day, and wanted to put on a good show really. But yeah, it was another good day, that one.
So do you find that you struggle with nerves, or do you do things to try and manage them?
My first race, it was always my nervous race. I don't know. It's probably the same people watching every time, but I just get the feeling you don't know who's watching. You don't know what's going to happen. Is the bike going to run okay? You don't know how the track's going to handle. So first race, I'm always nervous on the first race. After that, I'm fine.
Do you have any superstitions to keep you calm before, or do you just sit and relax in the pits really?
Yeah, I don't really do anything. I like to get my equipment together beforehand, toolbox in the pits. Yeah, nothing. I just take it as it is really. Turn up, ride my bike, and hopefully all goes well on the day.
Would you say that you have a favourite team riding partner?
The best team riding partner I've had would have been Andy Angel. It was a few years ago I rode with him in the whole team, but you always knew that if I got out in front, he'd look after the men behind, and it wouldn't be an issue. That's my favourite team riding partner, I would say. I normally ride with Davy Cooper, but I normally have to do a bit more work with him. So yeah, I'd say Andy Angel.
Yeah. So would you say that you're more of a physical rider, or one who very good at your sort of bike handling more than your physicality?
Yeah, I used to be quite a physical rider. I tend to pass coming out of corners now more than anything. My gating is absolutely shocking. I think you'd beat me up the gate now, watching you racing, but yeah, the cornering is sort of where I pass. I wouldn't really say I'm 100% physical now.
So with the team riding, do you enjoy that more than the individual, or what's your preference?
I prefer individual more. With your team, you've got a bit more pressure. You've got to, you got to do more. And if you mess up, you've got to, you're letting your team down. Where individual, you're just letting yourself down. And that's what I find. So yeah, I prefer individual over team riding.
Yeah. So, what would you say are your aspirations, for the sport? Where do you want to go from here, really?
Well, everyone wants to be the best, don't they? Everyone wants to be a British champion. That'd be an ultimate goal, really. My main goal is to get in a British final. I have 2 years where I've got a reserve spot, but yeah, I've never actually been in the 16-man lineup, which is my main goal at the minute.
Would you say that you have any, or is there anyone that you look up to?
I like watching Szymanski. I think he's got a really good style, and speed and agility on the bike is unreal, really. But my closest person to look up to would be obviously Andy Angel, but now he's taken a step back out of the sport and retirement. Yeah, I just have to keep looking up to Szymanski, I suppose.
Would you say you try and kind of copy their style of riding, or would you say you have your own style of riding?
I'd like to say I have my own style of riding. I know there's probably other people out there that I'd say differently. But yeah, I like to think I've got my own style. I don't try and copy anybody.
What would you say is the best piece of advice that you've been given?
Best piece of advice would be given, what I could probably give. Obviously, be happy riding on your bike. If you're not happy, you're not going to enjoy the day. But yeah, a good piece of advice is keep your equipment clean and oiled up, and it'll look after you, and it'll get you through your meeting. Okay.
Yeah. So, back to like I was a while ago, but back to the England call up. Like, what did it feel when you got told that you were going to be representing your country?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird feeling, really. I didn't expect it in the slightest. I thought, why are they asking me? There's so many other people that are probably better than me. But yeah, it was an unreal feeling, really, to get the message. I think I was at work that day, and I just couldn't wait to tell everyone that was near me, really. I've got an England call up. I just can't believe it.
So why do you think that they chose you then?
I think I started the year off well. Got a few good points up in the Yorkshire League, and I've got a feeling that's probably where it stemmed from. I did that event at Somersham and got into the final there, and I felt I had a good weekend there. So yeah, I think it was just a collective sort of side of that, and yeah, I got a call up.
Like the Somersham event, do you think there should be more big events like that with riders from all over the country? So it's not just the British, it's the one event with everyone, really.
100%. I think individual riding is going to build the sport more. I think it's much more of a joy to watch. I hosted the Derek Hilton Memorial at Hull later on this year, and I got some good riders for that event, and there was some really good racing in that. Yeah, I think we need more events like that on the calendar, apart from the British ones.
Are there any other things you think need to happen to improve the sport?
I think there needs to be a bit more of a push for publicity. You say to people, in my local area, I race Cycle Speedway. All right, well, what's Cycle Speedway? They don't know what it is. They know where the track is, but they don't know what it is. So yeah, publicity is a big one. It needs to be pushed a lot more. I've just taken over the Hull page, and I'm just trying to do every little thing I can to sort of boost the page up and get people to know about it, really.
If you could change one thing about Cycle Speedway, what would it be?
Change one thing. I'm not sure, really. I've put in for a rule change in this year, to come into place next year, and it's to follow the path of. I don't know if you watch the Speedway GP.
Yeah.
But they have a warning system. So if you move at the start, like a little twitch, and it's nothing serious, you get a warning for that meeting. The rest of that meeting, if you do it again, then you're out of the race. And I think that could be a massive improvement to the sport, because let's say, for instance, you're from Scotland. Let's say you've trained for a British final, you get into the British final, but it's down in Exeter, and you've got 5 rides, and if you mess up in one of them rides, that could take you away from a rostrum position. And I think sometimes there's quite a bit with the crowds and stuff. There's quite a bit of noise under the start, and sometimes you've moved that little bit, and if that puts you out of that meeting, I think that's why riders can drop out of the sport, because they've put a lot of effort in and a lot of money and time to get there, and a little daft thing like that can ruin your day, and you almost get the feeling of, well, what's the point? Do you get where I'm coming from? So that's the main thing I'd want to change, really.
So, why do you ride?
Well, why do I ride? It's quite a big social aspect. If I didn't race, I don't know what I'd do. Most of my friends are in the sport. It's a great bit of exercise, and yeah, it's just the enjoyment, really.
So, do you do it to try and be that idol for little people, really, or do you do it for to actually get something out of it, to actually be the best?
Yeah, a bit of both, really. I see the juniors looking up to the seniors, and I like that. But yeah, obviously, you want to be the best. I try and get up to the top as much as I can, up to elite level. So yeah, obviously the main factor is enjoyment. If you're not enjoying it, then why are you racing?
So I don't think we actually covered this at the start, but how old were you when you started?
I think I was about, I'd have been 10. So I started in 2009, so yeah, 10.
So what was it that made you want to continue doing the sport after that first day?
It was just something different. It was, racing a bike with no brakes. I just enjoyed the first day, and then getting my first bike built up, and stuff progressed, and I carried on enjoying it. I was playing football as well at the time, and I actually chose speedway over football, so we're getting in the way with each other a little bit. I just totally enjoyed the speedway a lot more than the football.
So do you remember what that first meeting was then?
First meeting, I couldn't tell you. I take it would probably been like a home meeting, like a Division 2 home meeting. Because in my first sort of years, I didn't really travel anywhere. And if I did, I went with Andy Schofield, the manager. But yeah, once or sort of later on, maybe 4 or 5 years in, that I started traveling properly.
So, do you remember like what your first proper like national meeting was?
National wide, I'd probably said like it might have even been like a British event, because I didn't do any of the youth and junior leagues. So yeah, it would probably been like a British Championships.
So like, how did you feel going into that meeting?
Can't remember really. Probably nervous. I don't really remember.
Well, at the moment, do you feel like when you go into these sort of big meetings, do you feel like you have a lot of pressure on yourself, or do you feel like there's not so much pressure on you because of like the big names in the British final?
I've put a bit of pressure on myself because I want to beat the big names. That's what I'm there to do. But on the other hand, I sort of sit back and look, well, if it's going to happen, it'll happen. It's just another day. But yeah, I do put a bit of pressure on myself to try and be there, because I want to be there.
Have you ever tried indoor?
No, well, I say no. I had a go at Newcastle a couple of years ago, trained up there, but their surface is slightly different, so they use like the Maxxis tyres. It's just not quite the same. You don't get the same lean on the bike. And then I went to watch it in Coventry that year, and I sort of kicked myself for not entering, because I didn't want to show myself up, shall we say? And yeah, I kicked myself. So this year I'm travelling to Coventry each Sunday to train for it, and I'll probably have a go at it. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So do you reckon what would you say is like more fun to watch? Is it indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor, definitely outdoor. Indoor, it's if you get to the first bend, you've almost done it, haven't you? As long as you don't make any daft mistake. I'd definitely say outdoor would be better to watch.
What was that surface then in Newcastle?
It was just like it was like a wooden floor. I don't know what the difference was to it, whether or not it was just would have been a wooden sort of floor and it maybe didn't have the same shine or something to it. But I went up there with some indoor tyres, expecting to be riding on them, and he said you can have a go, but I don't think they'd work. And I got to the first bend and they just didn't work at all. So they gave me a set of Maxxis, and yeah, the Maxxis worked fine up there for some reason.
So racing wise, would you say you preferred indoor or outdoor?
I did like the indoor. It'd be hard to say until I've actually had a go at this indoor properly. But yeah, I did like the indoor, with it being obviously it's an indoor environment. There's no weather aspects. But as much as I do like the indoor, yeah, it's hard to say really. With not having a proper go at it.
With the weather, do you think that affects you a lot then?
Yeah, if it's raining, like really bad, I'm not interested at all. It gets to me quite a bit. I would say I'm a fair weather rider. I don't mind a bit of a breeze, you say, a bit of wind, but yeah, the rain just totally puts me off racing.
Yeah. So I think we've got through quite a bit today. So yeah, thank you for joining us today, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and so yeah, we will see everybody next time. Goodbye.
Yeah, okay. Cheers. Thanks.